Salma Hayek's husband is CEO of the luxury fashion group Kering, home to brands such as Gucci, Balenciaga. The website that he owns that sells children mannequins and weird paintings.
The cracks in Salma Hayek's perfect Hollywood marriage are finally showing. What we've uncovered about her billionaire husband's empire will make your skin crawl. After years of silence and carefully crafted public appearances, recent revelations suggest Salma is reaching her breaking point living with a man whose business practices have shocked the world. The dark secrets behind François-Henri Pinault's $21 billion fortune are finally coming to light, and they paint a disturbing picture of the lifestyle Salma has been trapped in for over 15 years. François-Henri Pinault isn't just wealthy, he's dangerously powerful in ways most people don't understand. This man controls Kering, a luxury empire that dictates what millions of people around the world consider fashionable and desirable.
He seems to take great pride in surrounding himself with women in their late teens and early 20s.
When you see celebrities walking red carpets in Gucci, carrying Balenciaga bags, or wearing Saint Laurent, they're unknowingly promoting his empire. But here's what's truly sinister about his control. He doesn't just sell luxury goods. He shapes cultural narratives and influences public opinion through brands that people worship. His portfolio includes Gucci, Balenciaga, Saint Laurent, Alexander McQueen, and Bottega Veneta. That's not just business success, that's cultural manipulation on a global scale. The way Salma ended up in this marriage reads like a psychological thriller. Venice, Italy, 2006. A glamorous gala filled with the world's elite. Salma later revealed she wasn't even looking for a relationship when she spotted this mysterious man across the room. But here's what gives you chills.
Did we just discover Salma Hayek's shell company? They paid out $0 in 2023, which, by the way, that includes payroll expenses. No one got paid apparently, which I find very suspicious.
She had no idea who he was or what kind of power he wielded. She told Latina magazine, "I found a man better than any man I could ever in my life imagine existed. He found me, actually." The way she describes it sounds almost like she was being hunted by someone who knew exactly what he was doing. A billionaire doesn't just randomly approach an A-list actress without knowing precisely what he wants from the encounter. What happened after their marriage reveals the true nature of their relationship, and it's deeply troubling. In a shocking confession from late 2024, Salma revealed she never signed a prenup despite marrying a man worth over $21 billion. Think about that for a moment. Either she's incredibly naive about protecting herself legally, or there's something much more calculated happening behind the scenes.
Salma Hayek loves the rich and lavish life, attending Balenciaga fashion shows and partying it up with the fellow celebrities. But Salma is just as evil as the next. She has deep connections to disgusting people who exploit children in the name of art.
Even more disturbing, she revealed they keep their finances completely separate. She told the Wall Street Journal, "I support a lot of the aspects of my life and myself. I have the pressure to make a certain amount of money, and I like it." Why would someone married to a billionaire feel financial pressure? What kind of psychological control is being exercised here? The breaking point for many people came in November 2022 when François-Henri's crown jewel brand Balenciaga released what can only be described as the most disturbing advertising campaign in luxury fashion history. The images showed children as young as 2 years old holding teddy bear handbags dressed in BDSM gear, complete with leather harnesses and metal spikes. A separate campaign featured handbags placed next to legal documents from a Supreme Court case about child abuse material.
Salma has turned a blind eye to this, even though her billionaire husband is one of the most disturbing people within the industry.
The internet exploded with outrage. Celebrities cut ties with the brand, and parents worldwide started destroying their Balenciaga items in protest. The hashtag Cancel Balenciaga accumulated over 300 million views as people demanded accountability. Here's where Salma's breaking point becomes visible. Throughout this entire global scandal, she remained completely silent. While Kim Kardashian eventually spoke out saying she was disgusted and reevaluating her relationship with Balenciaga, the CEO's own wife said nothing. Conservative activists called the campaign's Exploitive propaganda. Parents were filming themselves destroying thousands of dollars worth of products. The brand lost 100,000 Instagram followers overnight. And Salma, someone who built her career playing strong, principled women, radio silence. The psychological toll of staying quiet while your husband's company faces accusations of promoting child exploitation must have been enormous.
Is a popular actress known for her beauty and her skills, but she's also a sick woman. I did a deep dive into her past and I found some really disturbing things, like her connection to Balenciaga, because her husband owns the parent company that owns this fashion line that time and time again does some really pervy things with children.
Recent interviews suggest Salma is finally cracking under the pressure of this lifestyle. When she talks about money now, there's a desperation in her voice that wasn't there before. She's revealed she's working on secret business ventures she won't discuss publicly, saying she feels pressure to make more money despite having access to billions. This isn't independence. This is someone trying to create an escape route. When she married into the Pinault fortune, she discovered something that clearly traumatized her. All people wanted to talk to me about was money. Strangers coming to me that aren't even friends, but they think we should be friends because they're rich too. She's describing a world where authentic human connections are impossible, where everything is reduced to financial calculations. The pattern of François-Henri's personal relationships reveals why Salma might be reaching her breaking point. Before her, he was married to French interior designer Dorothée Lapierre, with whom he had 2 children. Between his divorce and meeting Salma, he had a relationship with supermodel Linda Evangelista that produced another son. The timeline is disturbing. He was with Linda in 2005, they broke up in early 2006, and by April 2006, he was already pursuing Salma. Their daughter was born in September 2007, and they married in 2009.
Salma also has an interesting connection to Nicole Kidman. We've talked about her father before. He passed away in 2014, but he was a doctor in Australia who had a ring filled with children that he used and abused. Let's just say that Salma is connected to some of the most evil parts of Hollywood.
This isn't a man who processes relationships emotionally. He moves from one woman to another with the same calculated efficiency he applies to business acquisitions. Salma is seeing this pattern play out in real time. What's pushing Salma over the edge is the realization of just how much power her husband actually wields. Through his holding company, Artemis, François-Henri controls Christie's auction house, multiple vineyards, a football team, and recently acquired a majority stake in talent agency CAA for $7 billion. This means he has influence over art sales, wine production, sports, and celebrity representation. When you control that many aspects of culture and entertainment, you're not just a businessman, you're someone who shapes reality for millions of people. The weight of being married to someone with that much influence, especially when he uses it in morally questionable ways, would break anyone with a conscience. The most heartbreaking aspect of Salma's situation is watching her struggle with the moral compromises she's had to make. Her silence during the Balenciaga scandal wasn't just disappointing to fans, it was clearly devastating to her personally.
Let's start off by talking about Nicole Kidman, because Salma and her have an interesting relationship. Both Nicole and Salma attended a Balenciaga show in Paris Fashion Week, and while they were posing for photographs, it seems like they had an awkward exchange, almost like an argument.
You can see it in recent interviews where she looks exhausted, where she talks about feeling pressure and wanting to make her own money. She's a woman who built her career on playing strong, independent characters, someone who's supposed to stand up for social justice. Yet, when her husband's company produced content that outraged millions of parents worldwide, she couldn't even issue a basic statement of concern without risking her marriage and lifestyle. The breaking point seems to be Salma's growing awareness that she's become complicit in a system that prioritizes profit over basic human decency. The separate finances, the pressure to earn money despite access to billions, the silence during scandals, the pattern of relationships, it all points to a woman who's trapped in a gilded cage. She's married to someone whose wealth insulates him from normal moral accountability, and she's discovering that proximity to that kind of power corrupts everything it touches, including her own sense of right and wrong. Recent body language experts have noted changes in Salma's public appearances with François-Henri, where she once looked confident and happy. Now she often appears tense and guarded. At fashion shows and galas, she maintains the perfect smile for cameras, but those who know what to look for can see the strain. She's a woman who's slowly realizing that the fairy tale marriage to a billionaire came with a price she's no longer willing to pay. But escape seems impossible when your entire lifestyle depends on staying silent about things that violate your core values.
Now, what would these two need to be arguing about at a fashion show? Let's go ahead and take a look at this clip together.
Salma, one more, please. One more, please. Ladies, please.
Oh, look at her face. You can tell she's like, oh, trying to deal with Nicole Kidman.
The Balenciaga scandal was ultimately resolved with apologies, personnel changes, and charitable partnerships, but the damage to Salma personally seems irreversible. She watched her husband's company produce content that exploited children, stayed silent to protect her marriage, and now has to live with that choice every day. That kind of moral compromise doesn't just go away with corporate PR campaigns and charity donations. It changes you fundamentally. And from what we're seeing in recent interviews and public appearances, Salma is struggling with who she's become in this marriage. So what do you think is really happening behind closed doors? Is Salma Hayek finally reaching her breaking point after years of staying silent about her husband's questionable business practices? Or is she just as complicit as he is in maintaining this empire built on moral compromises? Do you believe she's trapped in a marriage where speaking out could cost her everything? Or has she made a calculated decision to prioritize wealth and status over her principles? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this analysis of what's really happening in Salma's marriage as revealing as I did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.